welcome back to Girl Chat Sports. I am Melissa, and I have a special co-host with me today, Sonia Tello. We will get a very special co-host, yes. We'll get to her in a second, but just so you know, Vegas Video Network, where we're shooting at right now, has celebrated their 1,000th episode yesterday.
Woo! All right.
Woo! Go Vegas Video Network. And we're actually 1,001. Yay! Today is our 20th episode here at VVN, and we're making it a very special Seattle sports party because unfortunately Jamie couldn't be here today. We do have a very wonderful, our best ever guest co-host, Sonia, here with us. Greatest ever. And she's going to be here with us to talk about all things Seattle. We've got talking about Seahawks, Mariners, Sonics, as well as the usual news about the NBA playoffs coming up that are currently happening. We've got some, buns of baseball, which is our kind of like our big thing here.
Wow.
Exactly. So we're going to talk a little bit with Sonia. Sonia, I don't know, I guess we found you on the Downtown podcast.
Correct, yes.
So I know that you're also from Washington as well.
Yes.
Give us a little history on you.
Well, I've been working with the Downtown podcast since, I think, June of last year.
Okay.
And I am a huge fan of sports. And so on there, I decided I'm going to do Downtown Podcast Sports Edition.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know if you're a fan of boxing, but one of my first interviews was with the referee, Joe Cortez.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then my second interview was very surreal. And it was with none other than the legend, the icon, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yes, we saw that one.
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So that day it was at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, and it was, I think I was there for like 8 hours. And I don't know that I was supposed to be, but I just stayed.
I want to hang out and learn more about it.
Exactly. It was pretty awesome. A lot of great fighters came through. I got to interview them all, and it was pretty exciting. And being out here, we're talking about the Sonics. I got to meet none other than the legend himself, Gary Payton.
Oh!
Yeah.
The glove. Can
Yes.
we just do it one more time?
Yes. He lives out here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that his son actually went to my daughter's high school.
Oh, really? He plays for Oregon State now.
He does, yes. So she goes to Spring Valley High School, and that's where his son went. So he lives in my general area.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So if we could get Gary Payton to come on the show one day.
Oh, yeah. Well, funny story.
Uh-huh.
I ran into Marcus Trufant.
Oh.
And he told me that we need to set him and Gary up. So I think we should do this and then get them on the show.
That would be hilarious. I love it. Okay.
Pictures must be taken.
Hello. Yeah. So GP, we're going to look out for you. Okay?
Oh, yeah. We're going to stalk you.
But so you are born and raised in Yakima?
I was born in Seattle. So
Oh, okay.
I grew up in Seattle, and I didn't move to the east side, to the 509.
The east side.
The east
Shout out to the
side.
509, the 206, the 253, the 425.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Hey.
I think that came from Yakima.
That's the Yakima.
Yeah. It's by the fairgrounds, No, anyway, yeah, I went to school in Yakima, Washington, and I was there up until December of 2014 and moved back out here.
So what brought you to Vegas?
This is really funny. I wanted to go back to school.
Uh-huh.
And so I started going to school, should I say, for diagnostic medical sonography, specializing in cardiac and vascular.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I realized.
That's a mouthful.
I know, right? Then I realized, I think I'm better at marketing.
Yeah.
So I went
a little bit different.
Okay. Yeah, it was more me. I just picked that because it was rational,
Sure.
like you think about it, like, oh, this is a growing industry, blah, blah, blah.
Well, and a great place is Vegas, too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Once I got out here, it was just like, there's just no way. That did not keep my attention.
Did you have a shell shock when you first got here, or have you been? I mean, I'm sure you've come here before, maybe.
No, it wasn't quite a shell shock because, in the residential areas, it's very residential. It's like a little town, so you don't even think about it. And then once you get to downtown or on the strip, it becomes all the weird little Vegas
Sure.
things start to happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any crazy stories yet since being in Vegas? Besides like the interviews and who you've run into? I mean, any I know when I first moved to Vegas, which has been like 13 years now, I still go back to Seattle a lot. That's where my home is. I still have the same number. It's 206.
Yeah.
Just like her yours is still
Yeah.
519. But I know when I first moved to, people are like, oh, have you seen any famous? And it's like, I guess you kind of, once you lived here for a little bit, you're kind of like, well, I mean, they're all kind of everywhere, I guess. Is there someone in particular that you saw that was like, oh, no way?
I'm like that with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest dork. I'm such a fangirl. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need your autograph. Or no,
Can I
it's
get a
more like a
selfie?
picture. I need a picture. So that's what usually happens. Is the last person I saw was Drake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. And then, the funny thing is that the VIP I snuck into
Stories in
Yeah.
Vegas coming later.
had Von Miller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I cursed him and then walked away. Well, I didn't really do it to his face.
But you felt it. I could feel it too. Denver Broncos. Although we did win one. That was our. I mean,
Yeah.
So I wore my Super Bowl 48 jersey that we won with our MVP Malcolm Smith.
Yeah. Who's with the Raiders now?
Who's with the Raiders now? Who we may be able to see if the Raiders come to Vegas.
Yeah. We'll
I'll wear
see.
this jersey should they do that. So we can start off with football.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know about when you started watching the Seahawks or if it was always football or I guess what got you maybe into sports first of all. Did you play sports?
It's funny because I would say I wasn't really serious about sports. Like growing up, whatever. My dad tried to teach. There's 5 of us girls, and he tried to teach us karate. So everything was always like Bruce Lee, learn how to throw punches, that kind of thing. He was a football fan.
My dad did the same thing to me and my brother.
It's like you had no choice.
Really?
Yeah. So, punching bags in the backyard kind of thing. But anyway, it was through my dad that I got interested into sports.
Wow.
And growing up in Seattle, you just kind of, you had to know who the Seahawks were, the Mariners were, the Sonics were. And then I think I became a true sports fan like towards the end of my high school years. And then especially once I had my kids, that's when it was just like, okay, full blown. But I used to watch football all the time.
Right.
My teams were always Seattle and wherever Mark Sanchez is. So right now I think he's with
Denver.
Yeah. He moved from Philly.
Jets, Philly. Yeah. So you have
And
a
the
crush on
Saints.
Mark Sanchez.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Everybody has one.
It's
It's no big deal.
I was sad we were doing baseball buns and not football.
Well, it's arms of the NFL. That's during football season.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Although I don't think Mark Sanchez was one of them.
Oh, dang it.
Maybe he was in the gym a little bit more. I don't know. Or maybe if he played and I could actually see his arms.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Yeah. Well, Russell's got some nice
He
arms.
does have. He's
Yeah.
got some nice hands.
Yeah.
So Seahawks. I don't know how you feel. How you felt in 2014 when we lost to the Patriots. I mean, I know how I know when we won the Super Bowl, I was extremely excited. I mean, I've been a Seahawk fan since I can remember.
Yeah.
I was more of a basketball fan, I think, growing up. But like you said, like when I finished school, like out of high school and college, I really became a Seahawks fan. And I've always been a Seahawks fan. That's my blood. I grew up in Seattle. Lob, of course, you guys know the Cam Chancellor and Richard
And
Sherman.
we got
Earl
Browner
Thomas.
back.
And we got Browner
But
back.
he's not playing the same position.
Yeah, well, they don't really have room spots.
We'll see what happens.
But our lob is back.
Yeah.
We're healthy. We've got Thomas Rawls coming back from an injury. We've got Jimmy Graham coming back from his injury. We also have one of my personal favorites in the draft was Nick Vannett, who was the tight end from Ohio State, who we got to meet in Senior Bowl. There's a bunch of people that the only thing is our offensive line. I don't know.
We'll see.
I trust in Pete Carroll. Pete, I trust you because since 2010, since he came into Seattle, he's basically changed the entire franchise. And we've gone to two Super Bowls with him. One's prior in 2005. We will forget the Steelers game because I still have really hard feelings about that. And the refs that called the entire game. But, I'm so excited, and I think people don't realize like just how good Seattle is right now. We do have some struggles, but it's kind of like I'm getting nervous. Like it's getting ready for season. We've had the draft. I don't know. I mean, what do you feel like for the Seahawks?
I try not to take any of this draft or preseason stuff seriously because I mean, think about it. When they drafted Russell and who else was in there? Wagner. We got an F for the draft. They said, you guys suck. And then we turned around and was like, what? Where'd these guys come from? You know? So I just try. And they say that almost every year.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys suck. Whatever.
Well, Pete takes these 4th and 5th rounders and turns them into like gold in a couple of years.
Yeah, they come on from nowhere and it's just like, okay. And they end up being like this awesome player. So, yeah, I would just say I try not to, pay attention to it too much. Just once the regular season starts is when, I'm yelling at the TV and cursing everybody's soul. And I have my superstitions. I mean, I used to get text messages because I figure if they're losing, then it's my fault because I was watching too long. So then I would get text messages from friends saying, stop watching.
I do that with jerseys or shirts. Like if they lose with a shirt, then I can't wear that shirt anymore or that jersey. And it becomes like an issue. What about what do you think about Marshawn? Do you think he's done?
I think he's done. Yeah. I think, I think he has a lot going for him. The funny thing is he hasn't signed, but it's Marshawn. That's just what he does. He never has played by the rules.
Well, I mean, like Richard Sherman's been kind of hinting too at a couple other players that, like, even today there was breaking news that like he's talked to a couple ex-teammates about him wanting to come back. And I'm like, is this just media buzz? Is it people just trying to get us to think that he's coming back? Or
I think he wants a boost in his sales, and also we all need to go to the Beast Mode store in Oakland.
Oakland.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't know. The guy's a marketing genius. It could be that. I'm not sure. I'm not going to put all my eggs in the basket, as they say, and just kind of say, it's Marshawn.
Right.
If he shows up, yay. If not, then we got Rawls. We'll be okay.
And Rawls is awesome.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
As long as he stays healthy. Yes.
If we can, as a team, just stay healthy.
Yes. We got to rally behind.
And if Jimmy Graham could block, that would be awesome too.
I think Jimmy's like kind of upset. He's not what he used to be. You know what I mean? Like they use him totally different.
Well, yeah, it's a completely different offense. I mean, he doesn't have Drew Brees just tossing him. He's not the lone target. We need more than him just catching passes.
Yeah.
And even that he wasn't doing too well this season. So, as we turn into that, so we talked about Super Bowl last year, obviously, or not this past season, but the season before in 2014, our loss to the Patriots, the infamous play at the end of the game.
I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah. It still hurts, doesn't it?
I just don't like to talk about it.
That's like to tell everybody else.
I was in Arizona when it happened.
I was too.
Like, and the friends I was with, hey, Crystal, the friends that I was with, like seriously. Oh, and Lisa's out in Arizona. But we were angry.
I was at McFadden's right across the street from the stadium. And when I tell you, people were texting me at halftime, I'm like, hey, congratulations, you guys are going to win this. And I'm like, don't stop. Yeah. Stop. You can't do that.
Jinx.
You're going to jinx me. It's going to go crazy. And I'm sitting there watching this on a big screen, standing up because there's no sitting room in the entire place. Yeah. And it's a Seahawks bar for that game.
Yeah.
And we're just staring there and I was like, and I couldn't for the rest. I mean, like to this day, it still hurts. And then this whole Deflategate thing, I think when I hear about Tom Brady's name come up and that now he's continuing to appeal and push this appeal for his 4-game suspension, it just brings back those memories. Because really, they shouldn't have been there had this been an issue. They shouldn't have won and gotten into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy.
I can't even talk about it. I just get so flustered. Like I hear his name and I just get like,
It's tough.
Yeah, it is really tough. And it was, being there, it was really tough because then you had all those crazy Patriots fans. Okay, this sounds really bad, but there was a group of ladies there. They were all from Puerto Rico.
Crazy.
And they were, I'm like, you can't even spell New England or Massachusetts. Do you even know where that is? And we were just angry. It was so upsetting, disappointing. I mean, every emotion you could possibly think of. And I remember I stayed off of social media for probably like 2 weeks because I was like, I don't even want to hear it. Right. Nobody talked to me because I don't know, I might stab somebody. It was just ridiculous.
My friends had me on suicide watch, so
I wasn't that bad.
Is anyone checking on Melissa? Is she okay? Is she going to be okay?
Yeah.
It still hurts. It really does. And I've told everybody before on our show, I have this theory. It's called the Roger Goodell conspiracy theory.
Oh my gosh.
Because just kind of like this last Super Bowl, I mean, the Panthers did so well all season long. They get to the Super Bowl and they can't even catch a pass. They can't even, hit a route. It's like, how do you go from so great to just not showing up at all?
I will say this. It's because their leader was a big baby. That's why.
I do like Cam, though. I mean,
I don't.
I know. Most Seahawks fans don't, but I can't, hey, what can I say? But so Roger Goodell, I mean, here's the deal. When anyone asks me, they say, oh, you're a Seahawks fan. So what do you think about that play? And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, how can you go for a pass when it's, and I'm like, listen, a Pee-wee coach could have made that call. Mm-hmm. Therefore, how do you think Pete Carroll couldn't have made that call? It was a sign from above that he had. Basically, I think like he was force-fed. You have to take this play by Roger Goodell. Yep, that's what happened. And I'm going to stick to it.
Well, when you think about you could be true. You could be telling the truth right here. That could be real. I mean, think about it. It's a man opera. Mm-hmm. How many people are watching this? How many people are paying for what? How much did you pay for your jersey?
Right.
You know what I
Hello?
mean? Yeah, exactly.
Well, and what you don't think about too is just like recently, Dikembe Mutombo had sent out that tweet about congratulations 76ers for winning the NBA draft's first pick before the draft happened. So it's like these things that come into play. They're like, okay, so there's got to be people that know these things before they happen. And sometimes I think it's also in regards to the games. I mean, as in Vegas, I'm sure a lot of people have won a lot of money on that game.
Yeah.
And
the funny thing is you can also go the flip side. When we played the Broncos, they were a sure bet. Everybody was like, they're going to win. They're going to win. Mm-hmm. Every single person they interviewed said, Broncos, and then we won, and then we annihilated them.
It could have also been Roger Goodell. Thank you, Roger Goodell, for the first one, and no thank you for the second one.
No, I mean, honestly, I just think it was. I think what they thought was the Patriots were expecting us to hand it to beast mode, mm-hmm. and so that's why they decided to pass instead, and they were easily read. I know. It sucks, but it's
terrible.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Let's move on. But we can take a quick.
With that one, I'm taking a drink.
There you go. So Sonia's gonna be taking a drink every time we discuss something that's a little painful mm-hmm. to her. On the plus side, we do have a beautiful stadium, CenturyLink. Have you gone to games there before?
Oh my God, yes.
Look at this place.
Oh yeah, it's one of those where you're in there and your insides are rattling up and down.
So loud.
The energy is crazy intense. Like. It's just the greatest thing ever.
And if you catch it on a nice day, too, just like at Safeco, I mean, if you catch it on a nice day, it's like heaven. It's like, it's so pretty.
Well, I think it helps that, we're a coffee capital of the world. So I think everybody's caffeinated, and that's why it's like so energetic.
Right.
Because we can't stop.
Or there's so many breweries out there now these days. So you're drunk or you're on caffeine. It's like one or the other.
Yeah. The best of all worlds.
So moving on. So we've got the Sonics. Mm-hmm. With it being,
let me take another drink.
Take some more drinks, please. With it being, and do you remember this guy over here? I don't know if you remember, Mr. Kevin Durant, drafted by the Sonics in 2007 and played for us for a year. Mm-hmm. He's currently on
we don't use those
another
words.
team.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And their team is doing pretty well.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So here's the deal. Oklahoma City Thunder, they're up 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors. I like the Warriors. I love Steph Curry. I'm all for them. The fact that the Oklahoma is winning 3-1 right now, it hurts. And all my friends in Seattle, and probably yours too, are just like, if they get to the championship and they win this, because I'm pretty sure most of everybody thinks that the Western Conference powerhouse will win the championship. So it's going to be one of the two,
I don't want them to win. I'm sorry. I really like Kevin, but I don't want them to win just because of all of that. That just broke our spirit.
Well, yeah. What's funny is that Russell Westbrook, and when you look up Russell Westbrook, it says like how he was drafted. No, he was drafted by the Sonics because in June of 2008, they were still the Sonics.
Yeah.
They did not actually move and change into the Thunder until July of 2008. So really, he was a Sonic as well.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, there's a couple of players you like, but at the same time, the organization you hate. I would rather have just a completely different team win, and I would be fine with that.
And we want them back. We want them back in Seattle.
Well, Steph Curry did say, they had a hard time, what was it, last season, and they came back and they won, so it could be the same thing, They're just getting a slow start, whatever. Right. I'm just talking a bunch of crap right now because I'm trying to remain hopeful that they don't lose.
Take a drink.
I'm like, I just don't want the Thunder to win because then it's one of those things where I just feel as though, OKC would just kind of be like giving us the bird. Like,
do you feel we'll get another team?
I know they're trying their hardest, and I really hope that they do. I think Seattle deserves it. I really think they deserve another team. I mean, we do have the Storm. They're doing great. They're playing in the Key Arena, aren't they?
They've been playing in the Key Arena, yes.
So I don't understand what the big deal is.
Well, Key Arena, it's more of it's a smaller arena. So the champion, I mean, an NBA team really, when they built Key Arena, it shouldn't have been built that small. Mm-hmm. They screwed up from the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
But the women played there, and it's a great arena for the women's to play in. They're on their 20. I mean, I think they were founded like in 1989, the Storm, who, by the way, got their first round draft pick. Here we go. Yeah. So they actually got Brianna Stewart from UConn, who won 4 national championships with UConn. She also won 4 like most outstanding player for their Final Four. I mean, she's a great player. We've had 3 number 1 picks. The Storm have won 2 championships.
Yeah.
And there's been championships. People always think that Seattle's Seahawks championship was the very first one. No, the Storm had 2. I think it was 2001 or 2004, 2010. The Sonics had one in 1979.
Yeah.
Granted, I was only a year old, but my mom had bought me a shirt at the time, and I still have it. So there have been championships. It's just we want to have more.
Yeah.
So we really support the Storm. The Storm season's a little bit different. They play from May until September. I think playoffs and championships around October. But yeah, they have Key Arena, and I think it works good for them.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for the National Basketball Association, though. So hopefully we can get a new stadium, a new arena out there. I mean, there's great plans. There's plenty of space in Georgetown. They can tear down a few warehouses.
Yeah, they totally can.
It can't be that bad.
Exactly.
Well, another NBA news. So we've also got the Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's now tied up 2-2 going back to Cleveland. Who do you think is going to win this one?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't want the Raptors to win.
Okay.
And because they're not from here.
No. And it still amazes me. It's like, have you seen that the talk about having NFL teams in Europe? I'm like, but it's not.
That doesn't make it.
It's the National League, not like the International
League. The funny
League.
thing, okay, when you think about it, we have the World Series, right? Okay. Who plays in it?
Just us.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no team in Puerto Rico.
Exactly.
Like
we have
Cuba.
the Super Bowl. Who plays?
Yeah.
Just us. Yeah. But when it comes to soccer, I mean, that's like legit.
Definitely.
Yeah. Everybody. So maybe. I don't know. But I don't think that they like our stuff, though. They don't like our football. They like their own football.
Yeah, they've got soccer.
Yeah.
Football. Which we also have the Sounders who play at CenturyLink and
Yes.
sport almost the same colors, too. And they've done amazing. I personally haven't gone to a soccer game. I'm not a big soccer fan. But from what I hear, if you actually just go to a game live, it's way better.
I think so what I read was that when they were building the stadium, they were only expecting between 10 to 20,000 soccer fans.
Wow.
Yeah. So the reason why the stadium was built, in fact, and the Seahawks stayed were because of all the soccer fans there in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. So they had this bill, it was on there, and they rallied up these soccer fans saying, hey, if you guys pass this bill, we're going to bring a professional soccer team here. So they did, only expecting 10 to 20, and they're getting between 30 to 50,000.
I mean, they're packing it just almost like the Seahawks do.
And it's funny because my sister and her husband, hi Sophia, they like to go to these games and stuff, and she'll occasionally put pictures on Facebook, and you'll see they have marching bands or marching in the street. I mean, Seattle fans are absolutely great, and they rally behind the team. I know they haven't been too great with the Mariners. They have now because they're winning.
Right now, it's amazing.
but it's kind of cool to see that they've really taken this soccer team, and it seems as though they've been here just as long as the Sonics and the Seahawks.
Right.
So.
Well, and the Sounders too. What I thought was funny is that people must really like playing soccer in the rain, because for all those soccer fans to be in the Pacific Northwest, I mean, I personally, that's the one thing I don't want to do is play any sport in the rain. When I played softball, I hated having to be at practice or games in the rain.
I remember all my friends, when I was going to elementary and middle school up there in Seattle, they were all in soccer. And they were always at soccer, camps and this and that. And I found it funny because when I went to Eastern Washington, soccer was not as big within the communities, and it kind of changed a little bit later. But.
Quick Pacific Northwest shout out to Mike, who's in our live chat right now. Rain or snow, ice or more rain. He's from Portland, so we don't. people from Seattle don't really,
Hi.
Hi, Portland.
Put a bird on
Thanks
it.
for shopping. We prefer to shop there, not stay there. Sorry.
Portlandia.
Although I guess we have to go there for the Trailblazers now. So
Yeah.
we have to deal with that. So real quick about the Mariners. So the Mariners they're now 27-18. We haven't been that good since probably, 2001, 2002. We have the longest drought of not being in the playoffs.
It's an unfortunate record that we hold. And
yeah, it's terrible.
It is.
But we actually have a new manager. We have new owners. So that's kind of like swept all the bad mojo, I guess you could say, out the box. I know when I graduated from University of Washington in 2001, I actually stayed around and worked downtown. And this was like real big when we actually had won the AL division. And there was like all this mojo stuff going around. It was such a nice time. And I just wish we can get back to there, because even though we're winning, there's still not even, there's the fans in the stadiums aren't even there. They're there when like Felix is pitching, but not so much just on an everyday. And we need the fans to come back and support them.
We need them to come out there. I know. Okay, I'm sorry, but I know baseball is kind of a difficult
It takes a while to watch. Yeah.
But I just think that they need the support. We need to keep that team in Seattle. And you have to realize, if we start fizzling out, they're going to go away too. And what's sad is that I remember a couple years ago, I went to Richard Sherman's celebrity softball
That's
game.
there at Safeco Field?
Yeah, it was its second year, and he held it there. And he had packed the stadium with a larger crowd than any of the Mariners games. And it was sad. I was thinking, like, this is so ridiculous,
Well, in honor of the Mariners, we have a special Buns of Baseball dedicated to Mariners present and past. So first up, we've got Robinson Cano.
Are we showing them?
Yeah. So that's but.
Oh my goodness.
We actually spent a lot of money for him, and he's finally doing well.
Yes.
So congratulations to him. We also have Tawan Walker, who's a new pitcher, and he has quite a nice dairy air as well.
Let me see. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah.
The thing that we've talked about before is that the new baseball uniforms are so baggy, it's almost hard to see.
Yes.
Like when I was younger, they were tight.
Tighter.
I used to watch Ken Griffey in center field like nobody's business. And so since we've already used Ken Griffey, I couldn't use him today, but I did use Tino Martinez before he went off to those terrible Yankees. We actually have him and Ken Griffey. So I gave you kind of a 2-for-1.
Yeah,
it was a 2-for-1
Look
throwback.
at those booties. Those are fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. So we just want to I appreciate you for being here, Sonia. I mean, we definitely missed Jamie today, but it was nice to have someone to be here. I kind of redecorated the set, if you hadn't noticed by now, in a more Seattle theme.
It's great. I love it. I love all this.
Yeah. So just to let our viewers know, we've been here at Vegas Video Network now for 20 episodes. It's been about 6 months. This is going to be our last episode here. I know.
Boo.
And I'm going to miss Scott in my ear, our producer Scott in my ear, so much. I'm going to start tearing up. But we're going to be moving on. We want to be...
Bye.
Oh, bye, Scott. Mwah. Yeah, he's going to hate that. He's like, yes, parties when they're leaving.
Who gets all that alcohol?
Sonia's got dibs. My mom has dibs on the honey jack. So
it's all his.
We're going to be leaving. We're actually trying to we're going to be doing some more live podcasts and some live feeds from other venues. So please stay tuned for that. You're always welcome to watch our reruns here on VegasVideoNetwork.com. Please look us up on iTunes, Google, whatever it's Roku. We're on YouTube. If you haven't yet, my Melissa's Sports Minute, usually our every other day about right now, because I can't seem to do it every single day. It gets to be a lot. But on YouTube.com, you're also welcome to check us out on our webpage at girlchatsports.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. Please check us out and follow us, and we'll keep you posted as to when our next shows will be. Okay? Thank you so much for joining us. And we may not have balls, but we know how to cover them.
Ah.